one, excuse me.
I really don't know. For me, I can give you a better idea after the draft, but that would be cheating. I guess I'll give you an answer now.
It is pretty close, I feel like. Newbee have looked, I think, really strong at this point. But again, it's hard to take. Like, EG get Morphling for Arteezy, and then at that point...
Would you remind me who Newbee have played?
They played OG the second day.
Okay.
The first day...
The first day is where I'm drawing a blank. Yeah. I remember that.
Vega was the first day.
Okay.
Yes. So...
And then we saw EG play up against Team Liquid in a very wonky game.
That was yesterday, yeah.
Yep.
And I think, actually, there's been a lot of crazy Dota games, to be honest. It's hard to keep track of all of them. But, I mean, both of them have played extraordinarily good teams. Obviously, EG versus Liquid is pretty big. Newbee versus OG. OG, obviously, still a very good team. Vega, of course, just being eliminated today, along with LFY as they lost to Mineski for Vega Squadron. So,
yep, Vega, one of these up-and-coming teams, showing their stuff, seeing what they can do. Big learning experience, right?
Yeah.
Play against these top-tier teams. Surround yourself in the environment. It's the learning ground, the breeding ground.
Breeding ground, indeed. But we will see as we get into the draft what happens in this particular best-of-1 series. Evil Geniuses versus Newbee. The band's already beginning at this point, and again, I'm going to keep harping on this. The gyrocopter has been taken away.
Thank God.
You think so? After that last game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know how soul-crushing it is to play an hour-long game against a gyrocopter where you're steamrolling the entire game?
30K lead and then lose, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I would say that was more of the Death Prophet for a while there, at the very least.
It was. It was the Death Prophet carrying the game up until that point, right?
But gyrocopter not available. Death Prophet still is. Another two heroes that were in the last game, the Underlord and the Naga Siren, have also been taken away. And Newbee will take away the Chen, they'll take away the Razor, a very popular EG staple, and then Sumail's Beastmaster, which he's played quite a bit since he has swapped over into that role.
Yep. Is it weird that I feel like Sumail's personality bleeds out into his hero pool? He's... maybe this isn't the right word, and it's going to come across with a negative connotation, but that's not what I'm trying to get at.
Okay.
Annoying, right? You have these heroes like Beastmaster that are super lane dominators that want to get up in your face and just beat you down, right? These are the heroes that every safe lane player dreads laning against. You have the Abaddon, you have the Beastmaster. They're just there. These are his heroes.
So I guess it makes sense that I like Viper, then.
Why is that? You're a poison snake?
Well, something like that, I'm sure.
Okay.
Well, we're not going to get too deep into it, but Newbee will grab the Omni Knight for KP. He has had a very wide hero pool. I saw him play Earthshaker recently in a matchup that really shouldn't favor him at all. He was playing against a Razor, and he switched up against, I think, a Pugnet at some point. It felt like it would have been a rough matchup, but KP is one of those players. He's so flexible. He just seems so dominant at the position. Personally, one of my favorite offlaners to watch. I think he can do really well with the Omni Knight pick here.
Yep, a very solid player indeed, but I'm really not convinced picking the Omni so early anymore.
Yes.
Just because if you don't have that good lane matchup or a good hero to pair up with, he's been hit with some nerfs lately. And they nerf him outside the lane phase, right? You have the cooldown on the Purification. It's now static instead of scaling.
Yep.
And it's longer overall. And then there's such a big downtime on the Repel. You have the cast range also on the Purification getting lowered. Like, you have all these nerfs that weaken his power throughout the game.
Yeah.
So he still has the strong lane phase, especially when you combine him with the Sand King. Like, Burrow Strike, heal combinations, ridiculously strong, kills everyone. But, you know, and you kind of run into this problem where you play the same role, but you're weaker. We see so many games where Omni Knight's dominant in the early game, and then he falls off into the later parts of the game.
I mean, and also you could have some laning matchup like an OD, for example, and just get shredded. The safe lane ODs become very popular.
For me, the big one's Razor.
Razor, that's another one.
That's the one where Omni he just can't lane.
Yeah. You
actually have to lane swap in order for him to have any sort of game, or else Razor's level 4, Omni's like level 2 or something stupid. Awful.
Well, we'll see if that's going to be picked. The OD, the Razor obviously is banned out.
Yep.
The big thing I want to talk about is there's a Nature's Prophet for Evil Geniuses. Of course, they just picked this. They had the, I believe, Misery Jungle kind of rotating around sort of Nature's Prophet, and he did pretty well with it, I mean, in that victory against Liquid. So
it definitely translates very well into later parts of the game. When you have that mobility, the split push aspect, and you can scale just like a normal carry. But it is interesting.
I think EG have had both Abaddon and Morphling in their previous 2 games, and both of those heroes not available. Just something to consider.
Well, the Abaddon's still available, right?
Oh, that's right. I thought it got banned out. It was just the Morphling. My apologies. So they could pick it if they wanted to. They might.
He transforms into a new hero when he hits that level 25 shield talent, doesn't he? It just feels like he never dies after that point. It does so much damage, it's insane.
I've heard the rumblings inside the green room where the talent have been talking about it. Is, oh, he level 25, okay, and he's just gonna win the game now, I guess. That aphotic shield is kind of nuts.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy, like, it just does so much more. It's on such a short cooldown. Alright, speaking of the green man.
The green man. They have a green team for evil geniuses. All green at this point.
Do you think it's weird that all these green heroes follow this concept of being extremely annoying to play against?
You think Rubik's annoying to play against?
And to a lesser degree, yeah.
Okay.
If you're playing a hero like Sand King, if you gave away Burrow Strike, it's kind of that facepalm moment where your teammates are flaming you.
It can be frustrating.
Playing Shaker, you steal Fissure, your teammates are thinking, dear God, how did my player let him steal that?
I mean, I suppose maybe Ice Frog has some plan for the green-based heroes.
Look at the green men. You got Furion, Viper, Pugna.
Oh, Pugna, true. Is there anyone else that you can think of off the top of your head? Though?
Underlord.
Okay. Kind of beige more than anything, but yeah.
His mouth is green.
Okay. Well, either way, they will pick up the Viper, the lane dominator. A hero that we've seen, I think, only once or twice in this tournament so far.
Yeah, we saw Complexity.
Complexity played it, yep, in their first game of the tournament, and they owned with, I believe, Limp was on the hero.
Yep.
He absolutely destroyed. And for good reason. It is a Viper. He was against a Medusa. It's not that hard of a matchup when you think about it.
Yep, I wonder what he'll be up against this game. We have the off lane from Newbee out already, and then we have the support duo, Sand King, Witch Doctor.
And the Witch Doctor, we've seen a lot of this hero, and I think for good reason.
Yeah, I mean, he's a stable, fine position hero. He's good in lane. And then, Maledict is impactful all throughout the game. It's much less about the Voodoo Restoration now.
Right. We hyped up, or I rather hyped up the Death Ward in the last game, and it didn't really do anything.
Okay, like 1 out of 100 games, you have this sick Death Ward play, and it just sticks there in your mind forever, but it rarely happens, right?
Yeah, so... Witch Doctor still, though, in terms of his other abilities...
It's cool to think about.
It's true, yeah. Maybe you get an Aghanim Scepter somehow, you have an Alk on your team, something like that, but they will have the Witch Doctor, they will have the Sand King, the Kaka roaming Sand King. Kaka, one of, obviously, the best roaming players out there, I think, in the game. And
He's been very good for a very long time.
His Earth Spirit, very top tier. Sand King, they picked it, so obviously it's very good.
That's right. That's how you know right there when they pick it.
Now, the question is, what will EG pick? They have 56 seconds left under the reserve time. Will they keep the trend going of green heroes? And what do they need? They have the Nature's Prophet, but again, they did run it for Misery
They're
last time around.
They're a little light on the lockdown.
Right. You have Sprout, you have Telekinesis, and Viper Slows.
And also damage. Nature's Prophet, Rubik's not the biggest damage heroes in the game. And Pugna, we've got the green men.
Oh my god.
Team Green.
They are one hero away from the Greenman strat.
Yep.
But the Pugna hero, that will certainly help in terms of damage and burst. This is something you were talking about. Nether Blast is going to be significant for pushing down towers. And Viper, also not a bad tower pusher, even without that poison attack effects building talent.
Right, he's still tanky. You can get up in the face, zone some of these heroes off the tower. Right. A very early game-centric lineup from EG. Right, you have tons of objective-taking abilities in these tanky heroes like the frontline Viper. And then Pugna's going to be able to blast the tower while you can secure the area with Nether Ward. And then there's also going to be the Furion Treants. A lot of early game power, but then when you have early game power and you fight into things that are strong in the early game, like Sand King and Omni Knight, sometimes you run into some problems.
The thing people used to complain about the most in Viper was his late game scaling. So yes, you have really good early game, but you're giving up late game potential. Although the agility gain is better for Viper now than it used to be. You have Nether Toxin, which allows you to farm faster, do more damage, and again, the poison attack affects buildings. Obviously helps you scale into building damage.
The last version of Viper where he had that level 25 talent that gave him like plus 20 armor. Was that what it was?
I think it was something like that. Something ridiculous.
He became one of those heroes where he transforms into a whole new beast when he hits 25, just like the Abaddon, honestly.
Yeah. And even with all this fighting, we still see a lot of those... we've seen a lot of games that have gone late. Even the last game, obviously, was another one to talk about, but I don't want to harp on that too much, as Newbee have their next pick coming out in 15 seconds. They're looking for an SCCC hero along with their Mugi hero. Mugi classics like Lifestealer are still available if they want to have that because they have the Sand King to work with. They wanted to go down that road.
Yeah.
They will pick up the DK for Newbee instead now. Essentially the SCCC pick for them. So DK can land in a lot of different ways now, and he still has very widely picked. I think he's still a very good hero despite some nerfs.
I wonder how easy you're going to shape their lanes up, because Pugna into Dragonite is a disgustingly hard matchup for DK. You have already high magic damage with the Nether Blast, then with the Decrypt, when you have ganks coming in, he explodes. And then when Pugna hits that level 6, it actually takes DK down to like 20% health.
We always talk about DK being so tanky and so difficult to gank because of the Dragon Blood, but armor doesn't really matter when you have all this magic damage like we were just talking about.
That magic damage is what gets him, but you already have a hero like Viper who you would want to put in the middle, right? And, you know, Viper's not bad. He also does a lot of magic damage if you can get him to a low percentage of health with the Nether Toxin. Is that what it is? No,
it's just poison attack now. They're combined to 2.
Yeah, where the poison attack adds up, but I don't know.
I'm curious. It's also important to note they picked the DK into the Viper. Nether Toxin has break. So that armor and the Dragon Blood in general, not as big of a deal anymore. So I'm curious to see how it's going to go for Newbee. I like that they do pick it into the Viper. Maybe they're just not that concerned about it.
You know, while I do feel like the break is good and everything, it's not game changing. You know what I mean? Oh, if we gank him with another Toxin on top, we might be able to kill him, but it's not like he's going to be sitting there, oh, I can't go in, there's another Toxin on the ground or anything like that.
Yeah, he's still probably fine one way or the other.
Yep, and then you look at the lineup, you have all these stuns coming out. You have 4 heroes with stuns on them, 2 being AoE, and then Omni Knight to back you up as well. Probably won't be that big of it.
So it's the 5th pick Tiny. I'm surprised he got this far. This hero has been targeted in both the 1st and 2nd ban phases, and for good reason. I think the hero's still incredibly strong right now, Brex. What do you think?
I think he's strong, but I think he's stronger as an offlane initiator rather than an actual carry with nerfs to the tree grab cooldown and all that stuff. And honestly, even before, he was never that high. He was never that strong as a single target damaging hero. It was all AoE basically.
Yeah.
He's had multiple nerfs to the damage on grow, so I like to see him in more of that playmaking role. But it does still work as a true 1 position carry.
And for the most part, we have seen him in that playmaking role in the off lane. But we have seen him occasionally play by Limp, maybe as a carrier or a mid laner. You know, there are different play styles for the Tiny.
Yep.
But now
it
the
looks good this game, though, right? Tiny burst damage up against Furion, Rubik, Pugna. All these heroes get pretty much one shot.
They don't go for the full green draft for Evil Geniuses, but I can't blame them.
Yeah, I think they're running out of green heroes at the 5th pick, so
Lifestealer will do. He has he's a bit of a beige tan color. He's got the red on him as well. But in terms of infest ganks, it's not really like the best game for it. You don't have the Sand King or like a Storm Spirit initiation.
Where's the taxi?
The taxi is probably the Nature's Prophet. It's just kind of you TP in maybe.
So it's the suicidal taxi, right? You're gonna hop in the TP.
Yeah, I don't know.
It works a bit better when he picks up Shadow Blade, but still, you have to get creative for this one.
Yeah, I
maybe
think so.
You can send in like a casual tree. Right, a little treant, they think it's just scouting, and then boom, out comes Lifestealer.
Yeah, that's actually kind of frightening to think about. But, I mean, what do you think about the Lifestealer pick? You like it, obviously, against a Tiny. You avoid a lot of that burst damage and the Toss Avalanche combination to begin with on this Newbee team.
It gives you another tanky frontline hero to free up, just to push his team fights for heroes like Pugna to keep blasting. And, yeah, against the Tiny, especially, right? Tiny, he has a lot of health, but no armor. So if Feast destroys him, it's a good matchup.
So we will get into the game. This is our second to last game of the day, and it is, of course, a game with huge implications for the Bucharest Major. The playoffs right around the corner.
Tell me about these implications.
It comes down to whoever wins this game moves on to the playoffs, and it's an 8-team bracket. There's no loser's bracket. It is single elimination only, and again, a lot at stake for both of these teams. As Newbee will move together, Moogie is, in fact, going to be playing the safe lane. Oh, this is some very mannered chat going on. A lot of good luck, have funs. There's a couple of Kappas here and there. Too easy for KPZ. Excellent.
Excellent indeed.
I love the all chat. Let me tell you, man. I'm all about it. But so far, it doesn't seem to be anything too shocking in terms of the way the lanes are shaking up. The Viper is bottom for Fear. That is one thing that is interesting. And the Pugna might very well be mid. In fact, Sumail does have mid items. We've got the Sumail mid.
This is good. I think this is really good. Pugna up against the Dragon Knight, tons of magic damage. And it's funny because Dragonite wants to push your tower, but actually you can't do that against Pugna. You walk up the hill, you're going to get decrypted into a blast, and you lose half your health every time.
KP will snag the bounty rune, but it may cost him his life as he is going to use the purification. Fear's got another poison attack in 2. He will use it. And then meanwhile, Faith will get first blood onto Crit in the top lane.
Newbee
still ticking down. KP is actually going to make it out alive unless Misery can get a good angle with an auto attack here, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The purification comes in.
My God, Mott, that mushroom hat makes Furion so heavy, he just can't catch him.
Too heavy, cannot catch the Omni Knight. All of his bulk. He is also salved up for KP. But Arteezy is going to be heading to the top lane, and it's going to be against the tri lane. Kaka is already here looking for Crit. He has dropped a ward for Kaka on the high ground, and Crit will be run at for the most part. And, well, for both of the offlaners, it might be tough. KP's going to have a bit of a rough time. For Arteezy, he also might struggle at the beginning of this game.
Yeah, it gets better, though. It's not that hard of a lane matchup for the Lifestealer. Pretty tanky hero, very survivable. But yeah, this mid lane, once Pugna gets some levels over the Dragonite, it gets so hard.
Yeah. He does have a decent amount of regen for SCCC. He's got the Salve. He has 2 shared tangos plus a set of tangos of his own. Yeah. So he's clearly prepared to take all out of this damage in this mid lane.
Yeah, I would say level 5 and 6 is where it gets really hard for the Dragon.
And Arteezy running through the trees, trying to juke and jive against Kaka and Faith. Just giving Mugi free farm again. Mugi is going to be able to do a lot with getting absolute free farm with tree grab. He is skilled at the avalanche tree grab.
Look at this rotation. Furion comes up to the top lane. Oh,
Rage will go, the cast will bounce, but it does nothing. And now, actually, it's going to be Faith is the one that's in trouble. He will pop the Maledict. Misery's still going to work. They get the Burrow Strike off. Faith is low. The Avalanche comes in. Faith one auto attack. It will be a 1-for-1 trade, but Misery does get dropped down first. And that's pretty good for Newbee, but a good rotation coming in from Misery onto the Nature's Prophet.
Kaka flexing his experience there. He holds the stun for so long so that Arteezy can't come in to right-click at all. And then he actually manages to line up the double stun there. Crucial in that engagement.
We actually see Kaka going for the full wand. We've seen a lot more, not only just like 4 positions, but 1 position is going for the full wand at the start of the game.
Yeah, the 4 position full wand rush is very interesting. I don't know how to feel about that.
We need more sample size.
Not enough data.
Exactly. Yeah. 13 last hits for the Dragonite in the mid lane for SCCC. So he's still holding his own, but like you said, once Sumail gets these levels, the Nether Blast start doing more damage. They have rotated Kaka. They're trying to put some pressure on Sumail, but Sumail sees this coming. They have an Observer Ward at the top boundary rune, which probably spotted the movements of Kaka roaming down to the mid lane. So Kaka's just going to try to put some pressure and get SCCC a little bit more experience and room to work with.
Yeah, not too much he can really do, though. DK, no mana, just a big fat melee creep at the moment. I'm really surprised that engagement up top didn't go more in favor of EG. Like, the Furion was TPing in right before the engagement happened. He's got an Orb of Venom. He can right-click, but a double stun from Sand King sealed their fate. And now Sand King moves down to the bottom lane with his good old pal Omni Knight.
Yeah, I'm sure Omni's not having a great time against Fear, who's playing a Viper currently. Even with Purification and Repel later on into the game, it's still going to be tough to line up against the poison attack. And he's level 4 now in Fear too. Level 4 versus the level 2 of KP. And this is what we were referring to in the draft when we had the discussion about just dominant laners against somebody like an Omni Knight.
Yeah, perhaps the Sand King movement would be able to tip the scales in their favor, but with no levels, Sand King's not even going to bother. Not worth it at this point. And he actually TP's up top, but they know he's here.
KP is getting run down to the bottom lane. He still has his Purification. He's trying to pull the creep back. He, I think, is going to maybe try for a TP. I think he knows he's dead, actually.
He's
Meanwhile,
totally dead.
Kaka gets the kill on Decrit in the top lane. There's action happening all across the map in both lanes, top and bottom.
Yeah, it's a very nice move from Kaka. He shows in the bottom lane, you know. Shows his presence, TP's up top, and then just wraps around. Unexpected.
So Arteezy has 7 last hits. Offlane's not going the way he wanted to, perhaps. Kaka's done a good job rotating around, and the support's making sure that Arteezy doesn't get that much. And laning against a Tiny 2 is not going to be easy either.
Yeah, EG's lane setup's a little wonky at the moment because they have adapted to what Newbee have picked, which is good, and this happens. We're seeing it in the last hits on our Lifestealer player. Only 8 so far, but we'll have time to catch up. No big deal.
Yeah, I mean, the main goal of Fear, and I think Sumail in this game, will be to make things happen on the map. Once this Viper gets level 6, perhaps, once Sumail has enough Nether Blast levels to try to take some towers. The same thing could be said for SCCC, though. He's going to have his level 6 soon. He has Kaka coming in. They have the Burrow Strike. They will use it. He has Mangoes and Tangos to work with, but no Salve, no Fairy Fire to help him survive. Misery's TP is too little too late, but he'll get some experience in the mid lane, which I suppose is some sort of consolation. But down bottom, Fear is chasing KP, who does pop the repel, but now it is down. He has the level 1 purification. He's only level 3. Viper is level 6. He's already used the Viper strike, but Fear is still doing a lot of damage to KP. He's trying to kite as best as possible, and Fear is actually getting blocked by the creep. He has to eat his way through the trees, but he can't find KP, who hides himself into the tree line, and KP will survive.
Yeah, no kill, but look at how dominant he is in the lane, right? Omniad actually has no pressure at all in this lane. Omni's level 3 to Viper 6. So this is the price they pay, right? The off-lane lifestealer, essentially.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. You know, it shuts down Newbee's strategy. They won't be able to play off this Omni Knight Sand King duo. It's going to be all up to DK to make these early moves.
Yeah, and he will have 6 soon. In the meantime, open wounds in the top lane. Mugi's going to get chased down. The cast coming to Maledict down to crit. There's the lift as well. Misery coming in with the TP. He's got the tree ends. Crit getting a little bit low, and Mugi getting surrounded, but not enough. And Misery can't chase him down. They have to turn their attention to Faith instead, and now Crit trying to hide. Faith will go for the TP. Is it going to be in time? It will be. A great rotation for Misery and a lot of damage being dealt by Arteezy and Crit, but it's not enough to secure the kill. And nice play from Newbee to get out of that situation.
Yeah, very well done. The tree block was almost there, but not quite.
But this will give Arteezy some room to work with.
Exactly. All they're doing is creating space so their cores can keep on farming. They're starting to take control. Look at this DK. Very sad in the mid lane at the moment. Not a whole lot he can do. Yeah,
these Nether Blasts have been rough. And Sumail starting to work on the tower, as you would expect. Once you get level 3 Nether Blasts, you can push in. And the pressure is mounting in the top lane as well.
Yeah.
Double transfer Misery. Nature's Prophet is what he can do in the early stages of this game. The Burrow Strike will come out. They've got the Dragon Tail in the mid lane. The Maledict, the Coconut flying through, and Sumail in some trouble. He does have the Life Drain. He's looking for SCC. He's getting low. I don't know if it's going to be enough to get the kill. The Illusion's doing some work too. But there's the Burrow Strike, and Sumail finally gets turned around on the Fairy Fire, the last Nether Blast, but it won't save his life. Faith trying to get chased by EG, but they're too little too late with Crit, and Misery showing up. And SCC still Elder Dragon formed as well.
That was a very intelligent play from Newbee. They know they have no chance of defending this, and that Pugnut wants to play aggressive mid lane so that he can keep asserting his dominance, but leads that to a pick-off. I mean, he actually almost was okay. You know, EG thought he was dead, so they didn't TP in right away.
He's still doing well, even with that death. He's the top CSer.
Exactly, right? And it still led to EG taking top tier 1 tower. Everything is good for them right now.
I mean, this Nature's Prophet, he maybe is not involved in the most kills, but the Treants alone helped them secure that tower. And he can always head back and just farm the jungle with the Treants and allow him to get some extra farm to work with. But he's going to rotate mid instead, and they're going to start putting some pressure on this tier 1. As Sumail's dropped another blast or 2. Coconut Cast will keep on bouncing. SCC will get telekinesis up on the Faith. That will stun him. But the tier 1 tower is still getting assaulted. Kaka has been spotted. They ping him out as the scan comes in at the perfect time for the Radiant.
Yeah. And the effect of taking that early tier 1 tower top lets EG farm more of the map, right? Look at how far up Lifestealer can play without really being in danger. Gives you more map control. And then you also have to deal with this Viper dominating the bottom lane. There's just a whole lot of points where they're applying pressure.
And I think this is where the big advantage is coming from, other than the tower taken in the top lane, is that Fear is level 8 to KP's 4.
Yes.
But I suppose that's what you expect with this matchup, though, Brax.
I mean, it's just such a difficult matchup. You have so many of these counter matchups, and this was your first pick Omni Knight.
And this is what you were worried about when they did grab it so early into the game.
Yep.
And now they will turn this into another tower push. The break is there. The Viper Strike, and KP is getting run down, but he does repel himself in time. Still in trouble. He has a TP scroll. I don't know if he's going to be able to use it, but Mugi knows that the dive is coming. The Fade Bolt. They also get that one auto attack off from Fear. Now Mugi's going to go from the tower. There's the Nether Toxin. They should have enough lockdown with Fear's auto attacks, but maybe not. They might be able to get away with more heroes coming in from Newbee. They're looking to turn this around. Kaka is here. He's got the Burrow Strike. Killing Fear would be huge. They've got Mugi coming in. The Dragon Tail from SCC, and they will secure the kill. The Viper will get dropped. And yes, they did bring down KP, but they don't even get the tier 1 tower in this bottom lane. In the meantime, mid lane, they're going to look for a lift. They've got the life drain, and KP might die again. It's going to be close. The life drain comes out as the repel is there, which means he will survive.
Game's quite the bloodbath, Mon. Action everywhere, and it feels like Newbee are the ones reacting to everything, right? They're not really the ones moving across the map, setting up the plays, and because of that, it just gives EG time to farm. All of a sudden, this offlane Lifestealer has free farm, and there's nobody that can really contest him. I guess now they're starting to make some moves, right? They have the Elder Dragon form up on DK, starting to damage this tower, but With Viper right in front of you, what can you really do? Dragon on dragon action.
Yeah, they're trying. The Nether Dragon doing some work against the SCCC DK as the Viper Strike comes out. There's the break we were discussing in the draft, but it should be fine as he walks back. Mugi is there. They have the Avalanche. They have the toss back if they can get there, but Mugi's too slow. He's got the Coiling Blade as the Sprout comes in, but Kaka's looking for a Burrow Strike to save his friend. I don't think he needs it. Mugi will just back up. They have the Voodoo Restoration. The Maledict's is also ticking. The Fade Bolt comes out. Mugi getting lower and lower, but again, he will be fine. And it is going to give some room for KP in the top lane, and he desperately needs it at this point.
Yes, he does. He needs some alone time on the catch up.
He's not going to have so much alone time anymore. As the Open Wounds comes out, he will repel it off. He has the GA for KP. There's a ward to spot him. The Nether Blast, the Life Drain, the Infest out. It might be enough. It's close. The Life Drain ticks off, but it's not going to be there in time. The GA coming in. KP trying to survive in any way possible. He actually has no mana for another Purification. The Nether Blast will come in, and that will secure the kill. GA was used for nothing for KP. He had to try, though, but EG will combine up with Sumail and RTZ to secure the kill.
It was a bit of a weird move. I'm surprised he actually died in that engagement. There was an Observer Ward that scouted him out, but he probably thought he wouldn't die. But, you know, it happens.
He had no help. There's no tier 1 tower. The tier 2 is pretty far with the Shrine. They couldn't get there in time. They were focusing their efforts in the bottom lane for Newbee, as they're about to do now with this smoke up. Faith and Mugi trying to find something.
This is what they need, but there's a tanky Viper. That could be their potential target. That could be an issue.
Yeah.
This guy is extremely difficult to
Level 3 Corrosive Skin. The magic resistance is there. Building a headdress next. Mugi is running in. Still invisible. He's got the tree ready to go.
Break, so now he knows.
Here is back at the tower, it seems. He's not walking up. He knows something's happening.
This is the problem. If they engage on him under the tower, then TP rotation's coming. It's going to take Viper a long time to actually go down. EG could probably turn it.
And they're actually going to make a smoke play themselves with Sumail and Crit, trying to get some vision down. And also to come top and help RTZ push the tower and maybe try to dive KP again.
I think once Newbee see Viper sitting in front of the tower, it's going to make them a bit nervous. They don't really want to commit to diving this. And EG know that. Look at this, making a play up the top.
And KP getting run down again. Purification Repel is available. He won't use it. They steal Purification for Crit, one of the best steals available, I'm sure. The level 4 Purification doing a lot of work, both healing and aggressively.
There you have a Pugna, we have the Wagon, and
the Treants are coming, but SCCC is trying to turn this around. Burrow Strike, it's only under Crit. The epicenter will go. The Dragon Tail is there. The Purification comes out, and Crit will fall. Can they get more? Sumail getting chased down. Kaka, they've got the Urn. Now the Nether Blast coming in with the Death Ward, and Faith will secure that kill onto Sumail. They hold on to the tier 2 tower in the top lane. They get 2 kills. Not a bad engagement for Newbee at all.
Oh, very good defense. Being able to push them off after they move up so many heroes there. Very nice.
All right, well, it's still rough for KP, but getting that kill, getting to level 7, he has 1,000 gold now. He's got the abilities to work with. He would like to have more levels in Repel, I'm sure, but at this point, I think, as long as he can get some room to work with, but it's so hard when he TVs down bottom to try to deal with the Viper and the push coming in for Misery.
Yeah, you can't do a whole lot about that, but, you know, there are other things that are going well for Not like, look at Kaka's gold. 2,000 gold, super close to the Blink Dagger. Tiny, same thing, extremely close to Blink Dagger. And once they have these items, they'll be able to make so many more plays on the map.
As SCCC has actually Shadow Amuleted and gotten away from RTZ as the Open Wounds were going. That's another big item for Newbee, yeah, the Shadow Blade coming out. But the Blink Dagger from Kaka, you're right, it is super close. And he's going to get it with this stack if SCCC lets him have a couple of the last hits here. And then you can start making stuff happen. The Blink Initiation might have been what they've been lacking, as Mugi's trying to get 1-2, and Mugi's very close. The Burrow Strike will come out. They have Sumail coming in. They drop another Blast, Crit, with the Lift, the Fade Bolt, the Breathe Fire, which was stolen as the D-Trap is there. That is a lot of damage against a Witch Doctor, and boy, does he die quickly.
Yeah, if they do get a Witch Doctor kill, but nothing really changes, right? He'll be back in 20 seconds. The game keeps going on.
Yeah, it just feels like EG have such map control at this point. They have a 2K lead. They don't have the most vision in terms of wards. They are starting to place some now in the top lane and trying to get to this tier 2 tower.
That's about to change, Mod. Check it out. Tiny with the Blink Dagger. Sand King setting up top, waiting for anyone on EG to push up just a little bit too far so they can jump.
This could be a big turnaround at the perfect time, too, because RTZ is right near his Radiance. He's going straight Phase Wand Radiance, and it seems he's going to have it pretty soon, as long as he doesn't die. And it looks like they're going to try to make something happen top themselves. Maybe get some more gold for RTZ if they can try to find a gank.
Yep, so Sand King just showed without his Blink Dagger, but now he has it. Well, now he is going to go get it, so maybe they won't expect it.
I think Newbee would want to smoke here with the double Blink coming out for both him and Mugi. They just bought one in the Sand King. This might be the time to go for them. Viper is alone down to the bottom lane. He has the Helm of the Dominator. He is pretty tanky, like you mentioned about the corrosive skin. A very good ability. They actually pick up a Midas for KP. That's going to get him back into the game. But instead, Newbee will head towards the north. They're going to find Crit, a target that they really don't want. But they will find it until Thesis comes out. They've got the Dragon Tail, they've got the Burrow Strike, they've got the Breathe Fire, and Crit will fall as the toss finishes him off.
Yep. Crit's teammates thanking him for that one, tanking the smoke gank.
KP getting auto attack down. I think Viper Strike was already used. No, he actually had it. He just held on to it knowing that they wouldn't be able to get the kill even with the Viper Strike.
But now the game changes a bit. There are 2 Blink Daggers up for Newbee. It's going to be much more difficult for EG to play in these dangerous parts of the map because they can just get jumped and exploded. So they have to play a bit more passive in terms of farming aggressively, pushing out lanes really far on the map. Yeah, and also look at that, Shadow Blade for SCC.
And that's more initiation that maybe they aren't expecting for EG. I mean, RTZ has been like up here in the top lane just farming alone because you know he can always rage even against some of these heroes. But if they have Blink, if they have Shadow Blade, it's a lot harder for RTZ to survive a 2 or 3 man gank.
Exactly.
Viper Strike bottom, KP will purify himself, and now the TP's coming, and now they're looking for this Viper. The DK is there, he's got the Dragon Tail, he has the Elder Dragon form, he will pop it, they get off the repel, as Triple C is still going with the Breathe Fire, they've gotten the kill, Misery gets cocked on the back line, but Fear will still drop, and that is going to be the Mugi Tiny picking up the last hit.
Newbee are online bot. They have so much catch, so much map control, and just with these items, but EG, you know, they've got some big items coming up too. Radiance almost online for Lifestealer. That is definitely a big game changer.
So people have been talking about this build, I think.
Yep.
And I'm curious about the Radiance. I mean, it's obviously a good item, but why on Lifestealer? Why first? Why not get something like an Armlet? Is it just to stay kind of into the game and be able to farm quicker?
That is a big part of it. Just
Okay.
the farm speed from the item.
The Infest obviously later on will help out too.
Yep.
But he's up to the top net worth hero in the game for EG.
I like Radiance on Lifestealer. It feels very good. There are a lot of team fights, especially later on into the game, where you just end up getting kited the entire time. And we also talked about Lifestealer not having the best vehicle this game.
Right.
Right, so he's going to have difficulty getting on top of these key targets. Lines up nicely, especially when you're playing against so much initiation. What happens when you're just in a creep? You know, we don't want to go on you at all. You can just sit there, and it also complements the whole push aspect of Pugna, Viper, and Furion.
Yeah.
There's a lot of synergy there.
Clear out the creep wave, split push more for RTZ like he's been doing in the top lane.
Exactly. You can just stand in the front lines and be this big annoying wall that the enemy can't get around.
And actually, the Helm of the Dominator might be the vehicle that we've been looking for RTZ, for Viper.
Yeah.
Start sending that creep around and just be kind of annoying for Newbee. They are pinging a lot in this top jungle. They dropped the sentry because they thought there was a ward there. And there's one close, but it's not in the location they thought it was. It's a little unfortunate for Newbee. And we'll miss out on the D ward. It's actually right next to their own personal ward. But now Newbee will move together down to the bottom lane. This tier 2 has taken a lot of damage over the course of this game. It's only 17 minutes in. Their tier 2 towers, both top and bottom, are about to fall with 1 or 2 more nether blasts per tower.
Newbee have spent the last 35 seconds-ish looking for any key pickoffs, trying to make some moves on towers, but they can't find a pickoff, so they just run down mid.
And as Triple C will get some pressure onto the tier 1. Crit was looking for a lift. He does have it. He's got the Burrow Strike as well. The Fade Bolt comes in first. They have the Shadow Blade. They need detection. They drop the sentry down, so they have the vision. The Open Wounds comes in. I don't know if they have Dust. If they've already used it, it looks like they didn't. And as Triple C also gets repelled, and that will keep him alive. Even with KP not having the most farm, he still has a pretty big impact. The Viper Strike coming in, though. The Viper is here. He's already used the poison attack along with the Viper Strike. It's a lot of damage to the break coming in. The Fade Bolt, they zapped him down. Sumail was there as well with the Decrep Nether Blast. More than enough damage to bring this DK to his knees. And now they will pressure another tier 2 tower. This one was untouched, but not for long, as it's about to get dropped down and be the first tier 2 tower of the game that they take.
Well, it was that Dark Pulse Summoner with the net.
The Ensnare. The way to counter the repel. It's one way to keep him in there in that fight. Still only level 3 repel for KP, and EG are trying to put some pressure and finish this game early. They have the tier 3 damage coming in. The Nether Blast will go. There is no glyph for the Dire. Mugi getting open wounded. RTZ has the Radiance. The Radiance burn is going. RTZ still pretty tanky. He's got the Infest to worry about as well. The Viper Strike coming in from Fear. Now on to Faith, who will get dropped down. Goody. Epicenter from Kaka doing some work for the Life Drain. The Nether Blast, they turn it right around. They get the kill. It's 3 death for Newbee, as Triple C has finally respawned, but they are working on the racks at this point, and it's just going to be a couple more Nether Blasts to get this full set of racks down.
Is this a repeat? Are we watching a replay?
EG, it seems that they might have Newbee's number at this point. They are about to take it the first set of racks, but it's only the first set of racks. Yes, it is a 7K lead. It is not over for Newbee, but that is pretty rough for them at this stage of the game.
They've completely broken the game wide open there. I mean, that was effortless. All they had to do was walk up, casually blast it. They can't walk past this Lifestealer, and then they kind of panicked, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, people were scrambling. How do we approach this?
They couldn't really walk up. Mugi was just getting auto-attacked by the Viper.
Yeah.
This is where Viper does his best work. When you have this significant advantage at the beginning of the game, you could do so much against the opposing cores. You hit so hard with poison attack, even with treads. You have level 2 Viper Strike. He's about to have an Aghanims, but now they're going to find a Triple C with Shadow Bladed in. There's the Repel coming out. There's the Burrow Strike, but it's only on the Crit. Crit will fall. Looks like, no, the Sandstorm comes in. He survives, but not for long. Mugi will clip him down. He will buy back and try to get into the fray. Misery, the Sprout is up. Mugi's low, and so too is Kaka. The Life Drink comes out. The Spell Steal is there. The Burrow Strike will keep him alive momentarily, but it's 2 dead for Newbee, and now they're looking for more for EG. It's 3 as KP gets dropped down, and EG will head into the Roach Pit and pick up this Aegis.
Man, EG just hit these power spikes, and they have the lineup to keep extending their advantage, right? They can really force the issue with all this building damage, these summons to help tank the tower up, and Roshan's essentially free after that fight.
There is no concern about Newbee contesting this.
The way they've shaped their lineup lets them just keep going. Once they get that small advantage, they can really extend it with those Pugna Blasts and all that.
The green strat is clearly working for Evil Geniuses. 1 set of racks up, 7K lead. They did have to buy back in that last fight. I believe it was on Misery, who did use it. Actually, it was a crit, sorry.
You know, the window where Newbee looked really strong was when they picked up those double blink daggers at the same time, right?
Yeah.
But they couldn't find them.
EG felt like they backed up for that portion of the game. Arteezy didn't farm as up as he did previously in the top lane, so they couldn't find him.
The big move was crit and tank and smoking. You know, and then once you see these 4 heroes, it's like, oh, all right, we're just gonna go play with Viper now.
Just being in the right place, the right time for Crit to make sure they don't lose their Arteezy, Lifestealer, or any other big core on their team. Sumail has a Kaya. He has picked up an Aether Lens. We haven't really talked about items, but they have a lot of them on Evil Geniuses. And again, Newbee, they have these Blink Daggers. They have a Midas for KP, but I'm not sure they're going to last that long. Evil Geniuses will try to de-ward on the high ground, limit Newbee's vision, and take control of this map. And they will do that by grabbing the last tier 2, the last outer tower of Newbee. And now the high ground pressure will come, and it's so non-committal, Brax. They have the Nether Blast. They have the Viper who can walk in and out.
That's right. This lineup and their way of sieging forces Newbee to engage onto them. EG don't have to dive. They can just sit here, zone, look at Lifestealer's position.
Good burrow. It's on to 4. Can they find the follow-up? Though Kaka's getting low. The mech keeping them alive. EG are all fine. And Arteezy looking to turn around, looking for Mugi. They're all on the run. S-Triple-C. They've got the Guardian Angel. They will at least push EG back for now. The Infest out. Arteezy looking for space, but there's the Dragon Tail. Now they jump back in. They want Arteezy, but he's got the Aegis. Viper Strike. The Nether Blast. It's a lot of damage. The toss back. Arteezy's still going to work on S-Triple-C. Getting run down, but the Repel will keep him alive. And now they go back to work on this bottom set of racks, and it's about to be 2. That is a lot of Newbee spells going to waste. They can't quite find anything. The Burrow Strike is still going. The Epicenter was used. The Guardian Angel not finding much work for Newbee. They keep everyone alive, yes, but they lose the buildings, and now they might lose more. S-Triple-C is broken. He's got the Viper Strike. That is GG. Another quick victory for Evil Geniuses against Newbee. 23 minutes in.
Ooh, man. We just hit a point where it was night and day when it came to team fights, right? Lifestealer's got Radiance. Oh, I'm just going to stand on the front lines. Can't walk past me. Probably going to blast your tower forever. You need to engage on us. And then they do engage, like at that top tier 3 when they took the first set of racks, but there's no damage. Nothing happens.
Yeah, they have no damage to be able to deal with the tankiness that is a Fear Viper with level 4 Corrosive Scan. They have Decrep for themselves if they need it. They have Fade Bolt, which is something Crit can use to mitigate a lot of the damage being done by Newbee.
Yep.
I mean, they really only had like the DK